Torah or Parshat Noach, page 10 lines in the top of the page. Okay, now the Rabbi was saying that the main Noach is the worries about Parnasa, and the reason why Hashem made the worries of Parnasa, that a Jew should overcome all those difficulties through meditating that the whole inyan of Gashmias comes from a mazel, which gets its life from the 70 malachim, which gets its life from this and that and that. Basically, all the Gashmiistic things of Parnasa are basically from one little mazel, okay, one mazel that hits it and says grow, and therefore compared to Elokus of Torah and Mitzvahs, it's nothing. So he says, what's the purpose of Mei Noach? What's the purpose of all these flood waters? That a Jew, by overcoming the challenges of Parnasa, meaning still keeping Frumkeit, Yiddishkeit, going to shul, davening, mitzvahs and all that, that causes Mei Noach as a expression of Naicha, peace and comforting and rest, both down here and upstairs.
But it doesn't sound like it discounts the effort.
Yeah. And after meditating into all these things, to Serder Nafshi, his soul will become awakened. To such an extent, he'll have such a longing of the neshama, Kedish Beyesh, with a burning flame of a fire, to go out of the darkness and the spiritual and the physical concealment, will only want to cling to Hashem. As we learned last night in Tanya, the Alter Rebbe explains that the darkness, the darker it is, so the more the light is more important. And a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. And a little light, when there's more darkness, dispels even more darkness than if there's not so dark. Because the light shines better in the darkness than it does in the day. To Yerushalmi, Shraga B'tiyara Mayhane, what is a candle during the day, what does it accomplish? You can have the same light, it's the same candle, yeah, but during the day it doesn't accomplish too much. The same candle, when it's dark, accomplishes much more. So therefore the Alter Rebbe is saying, why is it called Mei Noach? From one side, the negativity of it is the flood waters that want to flood out the Yiddishkeit of the Jew. It doesn't only mean Tiras Abanos, it means all the Gashmiistic desires and temptations and all that. So when a person realizes that Gashmias comes to nothing, it's one spit in the ocean, like they say, it's nothing, and versus Torah mitzvahs, which connects you to the essence of Hashem. So a person then will want nothing, and he'd say, Shalayach beitz klau, loy ganeid natachtim, loy beganeid na'elyu, and like the Alter Rebbe said, I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Olam Haba, I want you. The Medrash tells, the Rebbe has this in a lot of Yid Aleph and this in my Morim. The Medrash says, there was a guy that came into a palace, a villager came into the palace. He saw the officers and dukes and nobles and, all those guys. And he got impressed by it. He said, no, I want this duke, I want this noble, I want this guy. Different people, I think. Came a pikach, was a smart guy. And he said, I know Nosiv Malk, I want the king. What do I want all this garbage for? This side stuff. I want the essence. Like the Alter Rebbe said, I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Olam Haba. It's all revelations of God. He said, I want you yourself. V'hem cholei chafatzti. L'shalei beitz klal. Loi began Eden atachten. Loi began Eden alyu, which is only. Ziva ada bulvad. Even the higher level of Gan Eden, is the Gemara says, is only a ray of the Shechina. Commandment of Zal Tzadikim, yesh v'nenim is ziva Shechina. What if the person's meditation realize the dove kabei yizbarich, to cling to Hashem, l'chol or b'chinas mohus yivatzmusi yizbarich, to have the essence of Hashem, that's what he wants. V'nikar b'zeh HaKodesh. The zeh, the expression of it is l'shtavo b'gufa de malka, to hug the body of the king himself. He doesn't want anybody else. He wants a unity. Hugging means you're united with one with them. He wants the king himself. And this Ava, that he only wants Hashem, not Gan Eden, not all that stuff, is the tshuva b'chinas chele yatir. Is at a higher level of tshuva, higher level of fear, shado davka miteich al cheshech, that can only come from darkness. In other words, as we all know, the realization of the good you have is only when you have some type of understanding of evil. When you have an understanding of evil, then you can appreciate good. We can only appreciate light when there's a blackout. You can only appreciate health when you're sick, God forbid. So sometimes it takes an appreciation of something that we all take for granted, so to speak, only when you don't have it. So he says, where does this understanding of the essence of Hashem's greatness come from? That we don't want Gan Eden, high or low or nothing. We want Hashem Himself. It only comes through the Noach, through the darkness that wants to disturb and extinguish the Jewish connection to Hashem.
Is such a jump possible?
Yeah. First of all, if it wouldn't be possible, the Torah wouldn't demand it from us.
No, the jump of what Torah says. Isn't the process that they have to go through all those steps?
Yeah.
In order to get to essence?
How long is the process?
120.
How long does tshuva take? Okay.
Hopefully 120 years.
That's the process. No, but tshuva itself takes a second. Shaita chodev, one split second is tshuva. How long is the process? Years ago, in Chassidus, in Tanya, it says, first you need tshuva tatah, the lower level of tshuva, then you have to come to tshuva ilah. I remember when the Rebbe, in the Lamed's reading, the Mems, when the Rebbe was speaking, today we can go straight to tshuva ilah.
Gas is expensive.
Because today, everything is quick. Everything used to take slow. Today, in a split second, with the internet and all that stuff, AI and all that stuff, in a split second, you got it all. Why did Hashem make it in Gashmias like this? So we spoke Monday night, because that's a preparation for Mashiach. That's what it says in the Zohar, in the 500th year of Noach, which means in the year 5500, the Zohar says, Zohar was written 2,000 years ago. In the year 5500, the Zohar says, the Pasuk says, by then this week's Parshat Ben Amabel, Niftchu HaShemayim, Nifku Tahim Yisraba, it opened up by the Mabel, the windows of the heaven opened up, and the Tahim Rabbah, the water from underneath the ground came up. So it was a whole, Mabel, mixing everything up. So the Zohar says, what does that mean? So the Zohar says, in the year 5500, there's going to be a revelation of Torah things, Arubas HaShemayim, the heavens, the windows of the heavens are going to be revealed, and the earth is going to open up. That represents secular studies. And then we know in the last 250 years, right, or 280 years, whatever, the revolution of Torah revelation and scientific medicinal revelations were unparalleled to what it was before. And the Rebbe explains the Sikha, why is that? Because it's all preparation for Mashiach. Then in a split second, you can have a revelation from one end of the world to another end of the world, literally in a split second. That's all the Jew to realize about the coming and prepare the world for Mashiach. How long does it take? Split second. One second. Yeah. Because the advantage, the greatness of light is only when it comes from darkness. Not b'chol levavcha, with all your heart and all your soul, but b'chol ma'edecha, meaning beligvol, infinite. Shabbat davke min ha'hepech, shu ha'cheshech, that only comes from the opposite of light, which is darkness. Like he says, it's a very remarkable medrash, he quotes. Like it says, Teiv za malach chayim, Teiv ma'ed za malach hamavis. It says at the end of creation, in Bereshis, yeah? Vayara lekim es kol asher asa, v'nei teiv ma'ed. Hashem saw everything he made, Toiv ma'od, it was unbelievably good. V'yerev v'yibeka yem hashishi, right? We say, okay. So the Medrash says like this: Vayar Elokim is called Shasav Inei Toiv, that refers to the Malach of life. Toiv ma'od refers to the Malach HaMavis. The question is, how can the Malach HaMavis be called Toiv ma'od? Not only is it good, it's super good. So now the Rebbe is explaining over here, because the ultimate level of Or can only come from Cheshach. The Ma'od, when you have Or, it's good. But when Cheshach becomes Or, then it's Toiv ma'od. Why? Because if you think about it, you are transforming one opposite to the next that can only be accomplished by revealing a level which is above identification of good and bad.
Yeah.
You think I know what I just said? In other words, one something, like he says about Olam Haba, we learned in the other Maimon. Olam Haba is already defined. It is what it is. You can't change Olam Haba. You did Averis, that's it. You can't do Tshuva in Olam Haba. Okay, it is what it is. This world is undefined. So yes, we have good, we have bad, we have Or, we have Cheshach. Now, Or is defined as Or. Choshech is defined as Choshech. Now, normally, once it's defined, you can't make Or into Cheshach. Because Or is Or and Cheshach is Cheshach. But what are we saying over here? The transformation of darkness, min ha-cheshach, the darkness itself becomes light. Yeah? How is that possible? By tapping into a level of godliness that good and bad are equal. They're not defined. If there's no definition of good and bad, it's not identified yet as good and bad, so then good is not good, bad is not bad, you can make good into bad and bad into good. So the whole avoid of Mei Noach, the darkness that tortures the Jew, so to speak, in making a parnas or all the other gashmistic thing that goes on in the world. He said the purpose of that is to create the Mei Noach, the Neichel al Yain v'Neichel Tachtenim, the harmony and tranquility and peace and the essential revelation of Hashem that comes from Cheshach. That can only be done, by the way, down here.
Why?
Down here. That's why it says, the Rebbe explains in the Sikha, the Chayra, in this week's Parsha, in fact today, it says, Hashem says, Seimen Ateva, go out of the ark. And it says, Noach didn't want to go out until Hashem commanded him to go out. The Medrash says. Huh?
Even the animals.
Nobody wanted to go out. So the question, the guy's locked up in a place for a year. All that stuff that we learned, coughing blood and get kicked by a lion. Why in the world does Noach want to go out? I mean, well, of course he wants to go out. Hashem, he's waiting for Hashem to tell me. The second the door opens, he should run out. So the Zohar says that in the Teva was a revelation of Mashiach's era. Because what does it say Mashiach era? V'gar zevim keves. The wolf and the lamb are going to live harmoniously together. All the animals are going to be, right? There won't be any fights between animals. In the Teva, all the animals got along.
So why would Hashem...
One second. All the animals got along. How is it possible that all the animals got along? So the Zohar says, because in the Teva was the Gilum Ein Lasud Lavi, was the revelation like when Mashiach comes. So Noach was, as much as it was, hard as it was, he said, I'm not going out, this is Mashiach era. So if Hashem said to him, Seimen Ateva, that's good, you're like in your ghetto, you're Judaic ghetto of frum guys, Hashem says, the purification is over, you finish yeshiva, you finish, now get out. Hashem told him, get out and be fruitful, multiply, not only physically, spiritually also. Now go conquer the world. It's a new world. The world is now pure. So now go do what you got to do. And that's tafka through the Mei Noach. What's your problem? Tell me. Talk to me.
Tom didn't do this.
What?
Tom didn't want to do this.
Chum didn't behave. No. That's why he was cursed.
So I understand the deal with that. Why would Hashem would want Noah to read Revelation of Mashiach? I understand the deal with
Well, a minute. Why was Noach privileged to live a revelation of Mashiach?
Yes.
Because the Malbaz Alter Rebbe explained was a purification of the world. If the world became pure, what's the definition of Mashiach's era? The purification of the world.
It's already purified. It's purified. The Torah
Don't
is
look too purified to me today.
No, I mean at the time of Noah.
And there is no process.
To get out of
There is a process. We spoke about this by the classes.
No,
There is a process of chatei. Last night we were speaking about this in Tanya. There's a process. There had to be chatei tadas, and there had to be this, and there had to be the mabul, had to be the mishkan, there had to be first base. The process.
Mashiach comes, there is no process.
After Mashiach comes, there's no process. So therefore, Chassidus, it's like Chassidus says, when Mashiach comes, it's benken noch the golus tank. We're going to long. We're going to admit Jews are never happy. They'll have a revelation of Mashiach. They'll still. It's benken that they're going to long for the golus days. Why? Because in golus we can accomplish. If there's no darkness, you can make darkness into light. When there's darkness, you can make darkness into light. It'll be boring then.